Hello, my name is Dorian Rogozenco. I am a grandmaster and chess trainer. In this video course, I want to present you a selection of important chess classical games. So why are classical games so important and so good to know? Well, for the very simple reasons. They improve our chess understanding and help us become better players. The point is that in many of the games of the past, the weaker side was not able to put up much resistance, so we can enjoy some standard maneuvers, some typical ideas and plans in their pure form. Some classical games are very spectacular, some are not, but in the games I chose here, we can always learn something out of it, and they are very instructive. For instance, here is a game Bogolubov Capoblanca. This is a fragment of the game which is presented on this course. It's a very positional play, and Capoblanca won the game without making spectacular moves, but it's very instructive to see the way here Black succeeded to make always progress and to put pressure on White's position. And Capoblanca here started with the move a6 and shows a plan in such positions. So to exchange the light squared bishops, the idea is to play bishop b5, which he did in the game. And after that, Capoblanca puts pressure on c3 by doubling the rooks on the c file. Then he improved the position of the knight, threatening ideas with knight b5. He played queen a5, so puts maximum pressure on c3. He provoked the move a4. White played a4 at some moment, but this left the pawn on b3 weak. Capoblanca won after that the pawn on b3 and finished the game with a petit combinaison. So this is a way which was typical for Capoblanca. After improving positionally, making a lot of progress and improving the position, he would find some tactical small combination which will help him to win more material. And this is actually why classical games are also important. It's not only because of improving our chess understanding and helping us to become better players, but also classical games are a part of chess culture, and they provide also information about some greatest players of the past. So generally I try to speak a little bit also about the players when I present the games, and I don't talk much about openings, because from the opening theory point of view, the classical games are not necessarily very important. It's much more important to know the ideas and to know something about the players, about the background. For instance, here is another example also. It's the game was played in the 18th century by François-André Philidor here with the black pieces. You will be surprised to see that already Philidor had quite a big deal of understanding, of positional understanding. And Philidor was the one who said that pawns are the soul of the game of chess, which means that with the help of pawns they define the evaluation of the positions, the plans. And in this game, Philidor shows some concepts, or some strategic concepts. Here with the black pieces, he made the prophylactic move h5, so against g4. And after c4, White is searching for some counterplay. After exchanging on d5, for instance, he can continue with queen b5, so trying to get some activity. Philidor made another prophylactic move, the move a6, taking control over square b5 and also preparing to gain more space on the queen side. So after c takes d5 here, few more moves just to show black's concept in this game. C takes d5, c takes d5. Now both sides continued their development. Queen f2, castle short, knight e2. Now Philidor shows a way how to improve the position. He plays here b5, and after castle short, the move knight b6. So the knight is going to c4, provoking some exchange of the pieces and improving black's structure, because black will take back with the b pawn. This is what happened actually in the game. Opens the b file, and here's one more important moment. After knight g3, white is trying to get some activity now on the king side by driving away the bishop from f5 and perhaps playing f5. But Philidor played very calmly the move g6, so he keeps the blockade, which is another concept, positional concept. So he plays against the weak bishop on e3, and this was his concept in this game, and Philidor outplayed later his opponent and won the game. So classical games are important to know, and almost 10 years ago I started to present in each issue of Chess-Based magazine one classical game. By now I reached already the number of 50 games, and the large part of material on this video course is based on the videos from the Chess-Based magazines. But I also made new material and included some games which are not to find in Chess-Based magazines, but they simply belong to such a collection. From time to time, my pupil ask me, okay, but what classical games are important to know exactly? What are these games? How many games we should know? And in this video course, I try to provide this answer. Of course, this is very subjective. There are always some other games. There are always some other fragments which are instructive, but it's not possible to know everything. So I tried to make a collection of the 33 full games and some fragments. As I said, there are some new material in this DVD, on this chess course, because there are some games which simply one should know. And for instance, the well-known game, the Immortal game, Anderson against Kizeritskiy. Actually, we can also see in such games a lot of creativity from some players. Anderson here made a quite unexpected move, because black played c6, and of course here normal would be to retreat the bishop from b5, but suddenly Anderson here played the move g4, which is not a bad move, but it's completely unexpected and shows us this creativity. And black answered knight f6, which is very logical. Now the pawn on g4 is under attack, the bishop still is under attack. But Anderson simply played here rook g1, and after the mistake c takes b5, white showed his idea, and after h4, queen g6, h5, queen g5, queen f3, white develops very quickly all his pieces. Black must lose time to rotate the queen, to create a way to rotate the queen, and white developed quickly his pieces. This position is already objectively winning for white, and it was impressive how Anderson won this game by sacrificing both rooks and in the end the queen, and made his opponent. So there are some classical games which are simply important to know, and we can just enjoy these games. For instance, in the next game played by Edward Lasker, the game finished here after 8 moves with a mate, with a spectacular mate on the first rank. So white threatens here to take on f6, and followed by queen takes h7, and black player played here queen e7, indirectly protecting on h7. But now after a queen sacrifice, queen takes h7, white mated his opponent by force in just 7 moves, So the final position in this game is this one. After the move queen takes h7, white continues only with checks, and this is a very spectacular final position. So surely you can enjoy these games, you can learn a lot of things out of these games. And I had the task to make a selection, so I watched again all the games very carefully and made this selection, and I came to the conclusion that some games are important to know just maybe some ideas, not the whole game, but some certain positions. For instance, here is a fragment of the game Yanovski Capoblanca, and the most important move to know in this game is a move which was made by Capoblanca now, bishop f5 d7, which is quite unexpected and surprising, but Capoblanca showed that he will need the bishop on this diagonal to support the advance of the b pawn later, rather than on this diagonal. And you can see by watching the video with the fragments how Capoblanca succeeded to implement his plan. So I hope you will enjoy the selection of the games, and I hope it will improve your general chess understanding. Enjoy.